Spring training is finally starting to come down to the end. I want to reminisce on some of the videos that we saw in last year's postseason in regard to some of our Philly friends over at Barstool Sports, plus a former New York Met talks about Edwin Diaz and the concern that he may have due to his velocity drop. And our friends over at the Mets Pod discuss a prospect that is a can't miss that the New York Mets have that has been shining throughout spring training. We're going to get to that and a whole lot more next on MetCast. Welcome back to MetCast, friends. As always, I am Rain. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button so you never miss any of our updated New York Mets content. And I wanted to get to a video that came across my timeline that I shared last year, but it's time. It's time. The division rival between the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves, it's going to get heated up. And I want to reminisce on a great memory that we had as New York Mets fans last year. Let's take a peek. So if any of you guys know, the guys over at Barstool host this whole get-together between Mets fans and Phillies fans when the Phillies series went down in the postseason last year. This is one of my favorite video clips. I reposted it. It went viral. It was a great moment. Let's take a peek.
That's what I said, Schwarber, right out of the gate. Not first pitch, second pitch, bang. All week we're getting this. This ain't no fucking Brewers. You don't got Cheerio leading off. Your best player was Willie.
This was game one.
This is real baseball.
Cheerio's pretty good. Cheerio's really good.
They got one guy. This is 1 through 9. Let's fucking go.
I mean, that was blowing your load.
Oh, God. Yeah. All day.
3 days later.
Man, Mets clinch. What a moment there for Mets fans. Look, I hate to be one of those fans. I know what it's like to be on the other side of that coin, especially when we lost the World Series a few years ago, back in 2015. It sucks. Last year versus the Dodgers, obviously it sucks, but sometimes watching the other fan base meltdown, especially the fan bases like the Phillies and the Braves who are beyond arrogant, always touting how much the Braves have won divisions, even though they couldn't win a World Series at the time. But what a great moment. I figure I had to bring that up because spring training is just about over. The season's about to get started. Juan Soto smacking bombs. And of course, one guy that we've been getting to a lot on this channel, Brett Batty, again yesterday, just hits, gets an RBI double to left field, going the opposite way naturally. Now, I'm really hoping this carries into the Major League season. Remember, a lot of throughout AAA, you're facing a lot of non-Major League pitchers, a lot of guys who are in AA, AAA, so which we've seen Brett Batty flourish at throughout the last couple of years. So hopefully he could tee it up this year. I do believe he's going to get the starting nod at second base. I think he's earned it this spring. His OPS, I believe, is right around 1,100. The guy's just been mashing the hell out of the ball. But now let's get to the nitty-gritty. Trevor May spoke about Edwin Diaz and the concerns he may or may not have. Let's listen to that video and we'll give a reaction.
It's hard to get the juices flowing and the adrenaline going in spring. It's always an issue for all of us. He's a hard thrower, but it comes down to what that velo is. If we're talking 93s, 94s, 95s, 94 is average in the major leagues now. We can't have him hanging out there, but it is encouraging seeing it kind of bump back up in that second outing, especially back-to-back. So I'm not panicking, but it is something to pay attention to.
Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments, because I am a little concerned. I get the whole point that juices aren't flowing, but this is towards the end of spring training. Opening day is less than 1 week away. And yes, obviously, in a closing situation, it's going to be very different. You have the juices flowing. But when I see Edwin Díaz 92, 93-ish, now he's got to pump it up to 97, 98. Who knows? But it is a little cause for concern. I guess we'll have to see what happens when opening day comes around. It was up his last outing, so I'm not going to be completely overwhelmed by it, but it's something that we should definitely monitor as Mets fans, because let's be honest, Diaz was great a couple of years ago. He had that injury. He might still be working his way back. Sometimes when you see guys get those kinds of injuries, it takes a little over a year to get fully back healthy. So let's hope that Edwin Diaz is his dominant self. Let me know if you guys think down in the comments if Edwin Diaz is going to be his dominant self. Here's a clip from our friends over at the Mets pod, Connor Rogers and Joe DeMayo, who we had on last week. And I will make sure to link that video to this video. It was a great in-depth video in regard to the Mets prospects, how they're performing, some of the pitching prospects. It was a really great video. I'll be sure to make sure I pin that at the end of this video. But they're going to be talking about one of my favorite prospects in Ryan Clifford. I've been dreaming about this guy coming to the major leagues for us. He is a young stud first baseman, lefty, has much raw power. And a lot of people like to say, well, a lot of organizations have guys like Ryan Clifford. No. There's a reason why he was one of the chip prospects along with Ryan Clifford, who came over from the Justin Verlander trade. Let's give it a listen.
What stood out to you? I mean, there was a lot of big moments. Just the power Clifford has is jaw-dropping to me. And we talk about this guy on the podcast, it feels like every single month. But that was a big moment. But I felt like the game was full of them.
Clifford jumping on a lefty fastball, 93 miles an hour, and lefty has given Clifford some trouble in the past, and just taking that ball straight away center. It was 106 off the bat and 449 feet. And if they had
think about that, the guy's 21 years old, 449 feet. We don't even 90% of baseball can't hit a ball that far.
A little bit more of a zoomed out camera, I'd love to know how close it was to clearing the batter's eye. Like, that was a clear no doubter. What also stood out to me was all of the pitchers that got into the game. The Mets are building, and we talk about it on the show pretty often, a bit of a pitching factory. And now you have guys throwing some gas. Jonah Tong yesterday topped at 98.5.
Yep.
And
he's not known for that.
These parts, we round up. So Jonah Tong touched 99 miles an hour in my eyes. And last year, Jonah was topping at 95. And this spring, he's been more averaging that 94 to 96, touching 97. So this was actually a
Mets pitching lab. It's amazing to see also young guys like him maturing. He's very young. I don't even think he'll be up next year. Probably be the year after that, depending on how good he is this season. But to go from 93, 94, sometimes touching 95, maybe a little 95 and a half to going 98 and a half, 99, that's a massive jump for a young guy like him.
Career high in any kind of format for Jonah as far as velocity.
And it doesn't get much better than that, Mets fans. I mean, just what Joe said, the pitching factory, the Blade Tidwells, the Brandon Sproats, the Jonah Tongs, they're just keep coming out all over the place. And they have a couple other younger pitchers that are in the lower minors that I believe that will crack the top 10 probably towards the end of this year. It's a really exciting time to be a Mets fan right now. So we got opening day that's going to be coming up. We're going to be there. I've been saying that for months. We are absolutely going to be there. If you're going to be there, make sure to stop by, say hello. It's just a fun time right now. Thanks so much for sticking around. That's what I got for you guys today. As always, let's go Mets. Take care.